It sounds like the stuff of science fiction movies or tabloid journalism, but a secret government-funded program to investigate UFO sightings turns out to have been real and inspired by sightings like this back in 2004.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh.
That video was taken off the coast of San Diego. According to one of the two pilots who encountered this mysterious object, it hovered over the ocean, causing the sea to churn and then, quote, accelerated like nothing I've ever seen. It was one of several such encounters highlighted by recent reports in the New York Times and Politico, which uncovered a $22 million program meant to examine mysterious aerial encounters involving the military. The Pentagon says it ended the program in 2012 after 5 years, but the Times report suggests it may still be operational. For some, this lends even more urgency to the question of whether we are, in fact, alone in the universe, but others are significantly less intrigued. Joining me now is one of them, Kelly Beatty, senior editor at Sky and Telescope magazine. So, Kelly, when you first heard about this secret Department of Defense program, what was your reaction?
Well, my reaction was that after spending $110 million, maybe more than that, because it was a 6-year-long program, where's the beef? What's the results? That money went to Robert Bigelow, who was in Nevada. And
he's a buddy of Harry Reid's, right?
Right, who was chair of that committee.
UFO proponent,
exactly.
Thinks they've definitely come here many times.
Right, so, you've spent $100+ million gathering information, and what did you do with it outside of collecting a couple of videos?
I will concede that based on what we read, the outcome seems kind of disappointing, but they had good reason to at least think about doing this, right? I mean, the Times and Politico suggest that military pilots repeatedly had interactions with these objects that seem to defy the laws of physics. One of the accounts describes these things floating at 80,000 feet and then plummeting down to 20,000 feet, hovering and then darting away. Right. I'm not an astronomical expert like you, but I find that incredibly intriguing.
The thing is that there are thousands of reports, many very compelling, like this one, with video. And the problem is you need to approach this with science-based analysis. And just collecting a file drawer full of these things takes it nowhere. Someone needs to actually go in and try to analyze what exactly was happening. They're unidentified for a reason. But because they're unidentified doesn't actually make the leap like, oh, we don't know what they are, therefore they must be alien spacecraft.
That is a perfect segue to the next thing I wanted to ask you about. Am I pronouncing it right? Oumuamua? This mysterious, elongated object that is floating through our solar system from somewhere else.
From outside of the solar system.
Where there it is. That's an artist's rendering.
Right. The first time we have knowingly found an object from outside, from interstellar space. It came through last September and October, caught astronomers by surprise. They first realized that this is an orbit unlike anything we've ever seen. It literally caused a worldwide mass turning of all the telescopes over to there so that we can take a look at it. And now we're getting some information about it.
What information are we getting?
So, for example, it is rocky. It's not a comet. It appears to be slightly reddish. The breakthrough listen, folks, listen to it with a very sensitive radio telescope. It's not transmitting.
That's okay. Yeah, and that was a big disappointment.
All right, sorry.
For me.
But the more interesting thing is it has the shape of like this pen.
Yeah.
It's up to 10 times longer than it is wide, and it's really hard to make something that shape. And so we don't know why it's that shape, but we do know that it is on its way out, never to return.
Is there any reason, based on what we've seen so far, to think that it was an object created by someone else out there that now, in its calcified, almost unrecognizable form, has made its way to our solar system?
Not really. There's nothing. For example, we've looked at it for evidence of organic matter.
Yeah.
Not there. It is reddish. That is common in objects in the outer solar system. You get any kind of organic compound, methane ice, for example, and if you bombard it with cosmic rays long enough, it's going to turn dark and it's going to turn red.
Okay. Will we ever actually know what it is, or is it going to be gone before we can get closer to maybe come up with something conclusive?
I don't think we'll ever know what it is. What we might know, because Hubble is going to be taking some looks at it this month and next, is exactly as near we can tell where it came from, and that might give some clues to its origin.
All right, last topic for you today. Donald Trump wants us to go back to the moon. I think we might have some video of the president signing this new directive involving international space travel. He says that he wants our return to the moon to be innovative and sustainable, and that he wants it to take place with commercial and international partners. I was hoping that we'd get to the point in the video where he held up the little spaceman and looked at it happily, but we didn't. What is he shooting for here? Exactly?
This makes perfect sense. This is an extension of a program actually begun during the Obama administration and before to create a successor for the space shuttle.
Oh, well, that alone is shocking, because I don't think of President Trump as extending much of what President Obama has done. But go ahead.
So what Obama had suggested is that we would use this to go visit an asteroid, someplace that we hadn't been before, which I thought was kind of innovative, and eventually to Mars. What Trump has done is sort of codifies something that's been in the works for a while, which is the notion of basically building a space station, maybe with the Russians, maybe not, around the moon, not just around the Earth, and use that as a sort of foundation, jumping off point for trips farther afield, maybe to Mars.
Is it also a ratcheting back of the Obama administration's ambitions involving Mars? Because my recollection, I could be wrong, is that there was a lot of real gung-ho talk in the Obama years about, yeah, we're going to try to get to Mars, we're going to come up with a manned flight to Mars. Is Trump pulling back from that, or am I misrepresenting?
No, I think it's just an evolution, and it makes some sense to do this as a lunar orbiting station. I think that's kind of innovative. It is a very obvious way to have a high-profile, high-technology, make America great again kind of flag to wave. It's going to be very expensive.
I was going to ask.
Right, we've already spent. I'm trying to do the math in my head. Upward of $80 billion on this program so far. It's called Constellation, and the Space Launch System is the derivative from that. The space capsule is called Orion. It will look a lot like an Apollo capsule to a lot of people. And it's an evolutionary thing. Right now, we're spending our astronauts to the space station on Russian rockets, and that we really need to change.
All right, Kelly Beatty, thank you. As always, really enjoyable.
A pleasure. Thank you.